Good morning, everybody. Look, what's with all these damn birds, man? I can't,
You should
can't believe you got birds. I got birds. What is
you
this?
should see. That's why I put the hat on. I was worried what they were going to
Yeah, but one thing is for sure: this show is for the birds. But it's also brought to you by Patriot Sandwich Company in Denton, Texas. Our good friends over there, David Jordan and his staff, great people, great sandwiches, great time, great prices, great deal for you. Because Brandon, tell them what they win.
Yeah. So guess what, guys? Not only do you get awesome customer service, awesome food, and great support of a local charity and business organization, veteran owned, of course. If you mention Trash Talk, when you buy any sandwich, they're gonna give you a free drink, free beverage. When you mention Trash Talk, go in. Hey, I heard Brandon Stewart on Trash Talk talking trash. I want to get a new sandwich, and bam, David's going to get you a drink. It's big too. It's a good
Yeah.
size one. It's courtesy of Patriot Sandwich Company and Trash Talk. Hey, just a little something, you know.
Yep. Just and make sure you tell him because it's important because we want him to give away free drinks because we want him to make lots of great sandwiches and I'll tell you what best deal too, buy one and eat it there and take one home for later.
Yeah, it's excellent. And I gotta take a minute. I know we got a lot to talk about. I gotta take a minute to give David and the crew a shout out. Not too long ago we had the snow apocalypse in Texas where the whole grid fell. We should probably talk about that one day. But I'm going to tell you right now, those guys did everything they could to stay open. Once they got power open, then they had to boil water. They got a boil water notice from the city. So they made all the arrangements to do what they can to stay open and feed Denton. I can't tell you how many times I was answering emails for David, helping him out, helping him take orders through the phone or through the emails, and they ran out of food. The city of Denton was so phenomenal in supporting them during this crisis, and they were so great in providing. I mean, it was just a really cool experience. So my hat goes off to them for helping everybody out.
David will always go that extra mile for his customers, for his veterans. And so, Patriot Sandwich Company in Denton, look them up.
Yeah.
Go to the website. I mean, the website is enough to make you drool too.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry. They don't have birds there. So,
well, unless you drop any of your sandwich outside that front door, and I'll tell you,
because this is nuts
for it. Yeah. So anyway, I can't believe that you picked a background with birds, and I got one with birds.
Well, this is a favorite spot of mine, just something nice about being in nature.
Yeah, well, under certain circumstances, yes. I mean, being out in a vista and watching a bald eagle soaring through the winds and everything, that's pretty cool. Watching pigeons on a bench, that's a whole different image.
Speaking of pigeons, I remember, Chicago, I see your hat, Chicago, notorious pigeons everywhere. Same with New York, Detroit too. You know what? I've been in Dallas quite a few times. They don't have the massive pigeon population that other cities do, but Texas sure has the massive bird population.
Yeah, and the pigeon, one of the things I wanted to talk about with pigeons is, I think the pigeons are getting a bad break.
Okay.
Look what's happened over the last year and a half. What have they been doing? They've been tearing down all these monuments, especially in the South, all these Confederate monuments. That's the pigeon's home, for God's sake. Now what's happening? We're tearing down the pigeon's habitat. I think we need a movement. I'm going to start an SPCP.
SPCP.
Yeah, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Pigeons.
So great. It's going to be a branch of PETA. And now I'm going to have some hippie girl that doesn't shave her armpits call me about donating.
Yeah. I mean, stop and think about this, folks, for a minute. these pigeons spend their time on these monuments, and that's where they poop. And and it's about every 10 years they go through and they wash down the monuments. But if the pigeons don't have monuments and statues to stand on and to poop on, where are they going to go? To the park
Everywhere else.
benches. The park benches. So that's their second choice. That means if all the park benches are filled with pigeon poop, there's no room for people.
That's true. That's true. And maybe that's why the pigeons don't come to Texas anymore, come to Dallas that much, only in certain areas. But we should have left the statues up so they could drop a crap on them.
That's
I mean, why not?
You don't see pigeons in Richmond, Virginia. You don't see pigeons in any of the Confederate states where they had all of those statues. The pigeons are flying around trying to find out where are you going to find a monument now, huh? Where are we going?
They moved on. They moved on with the world.
Yeah,
that's weird though. That's weird.
I don't want to go to New York. It's too damn cold in New York.
Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I hear Puerto Rico is good this time of the year, but it's a long flight over to Puerto Rico.
When I moved to Texas, I was blown away on how many birds I saw. I remember driving. We were going to a haunted house down in Fort Worth, and I remember driving, and I'm looking at the telephone lines, and I'm like, what are all those? I mean, I felt like I was in an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and they were just lined up. I mean, I went to a gas station. They covered the entire gas station. I didn't even get gas. I just kept driving. I was like, I don't know what's going on here, and they're gonna take my car away. I'm out.
Yeah,
and
a lot of those are starlings. Starlings are, the flocks of starlings are, like literally hundreds. And you go to a four-way light, and they're all, on all four corners. And then all of a sudden they all fly around to one side. Then they go to another side.
Yeah.
And then what really pisses me off is when somebody sees all of them up there and says, ha, lay on the horn. And they hit the horn, and then the starlings fly. And you're sitting there, and naturally you just got your car washed, and now the starlings fly over your car and
or you're in a parking lot and you can hear them, but you can't see them. They're all in the trees, and you got to park by a tree, and you're like, number one, my car is going to be covered in crap when I walk out. Number two, they have enough power to take if I'm getting groceries, they're going to carry my food away.
Yes. We talked about that eagle. I still can't figure out how the eagles, a guy could be sitting out in a boat for 5 hours trying to catch a damn fish. And all of a sudden a hawk or an eagle comes soaring out of the sky, comes down, hits the water, and walks away with a 10-pound flounder or something, and this guy's sitting there, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, what a waste. Like, you're just sitting there like, I'm gonna go fishing this morning. I might catch something, I might not. Guy's in the zone, away from his wife, away from his kids, and an eagle just screws his day up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the eagle took off with his dinner.
Well, you know what the eagle does too? Then he looks at him and he says, freedom. And he flies away.
That's right. Yeah. Salute this sucker. In the meantime, this guy goes home with his catch for the day.
Yeah, he's got some bluegill, sunfish, crappie, tastes like dirt. You know what though? The other thing too is I've been fascinated, and it's like I have a love-hate relationship for these birds. I like birds. I think they're, wildlife's cool. But I don't understand for years, I didn't understand why Texas kept on getting these massive, I've never seen that back home. Occasionally back in Michigan, you see that many birds in one area, but you see a lot of birds, but there's 2 or 3 flying around. They're not by the hundreds. And then the stupid me found out, some guy told me, he said, Brandon, this is a major migration You know, all these birds fly south. This is south for the winter for them. And most of them can handle our winters and they just hang out here. And some of them go to Mexico, but most of them just hang out here. So half these birds that are in Texas don't even live here. They're probably from California.
And especially this past February, last month. I mean, can you imagine all those birds that flew from the north to come down to Texas, and all of a sudden, Edith says to George over here, "You wanted to fly down to Texas, and we get down there and find 6 inches of snow and no power, no nothing." I mean,
Yeah.
we can't even find breadcrumbs on the ground.
Yeah, I've been sitting by this dumpster for 3 days and that business hasn't opened yet. Yeah, it's crazy. I know they probably went to Mexico. They said, forget it. We're going to Mexico.
Now I noticed the birds are starting to hit the dumpsters again because the garbage kind of accumulated because the garbage companies didn't pick up. And also,
yeah.
the birds
It
just
was
wait around,
nasty.
wait until that lid on that dumpster is open just enough we can dive bomb down there and get something good to eat.
I was at work the other day and I went to take the trash out. And I literally looked at that dumpster I mean, I couldn't, it was spilling over. I just ended up keeping the trash by the door. And then it was freezing, super cold. Now, like a couple of days after the snowstorm, it was like 60 something or 50. And it's like all the birds were there just going at it.
Yeah. And now we're into March and all of the plants are talking to each other. They're saying, should we come up yet? Or should we wait another week or two?
They need to slow down.
Yeah.
I need my allergies to go away.
Poxitani Phil didn't see his shadow. We're going to get some more winter.
Yeah, I found out some too. I was on Twitter and I was talking to this guy, I think he was on Channel 5. And he said, I saw my first robin today and that always meant a sign of spring. And I tweeted him back because I found something interesting out. Robins don't really go away in the wintertime at all. They can handle it. I didn't know that. And apparently they just switch their diet up and they go hang out with other birds to eat. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I told him, no, he was wrong. And he got upset. But
well, they used to hang out under some of those monuments, but the monuments are gone.
So now they got nowhere to go.
That's right. And the park benches have slats, so you can't hide underneath them and be protected.
Right. Hey, have you ever seen and we have them around here. Have you ever seen turkey vultures?
Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh, those things are straight from the prehistoric age.
You're right. We had one down in our alley. I think a rat, died in the alley. That rat. It's a good thing that the rat died because these turkey vultures came down. There were 2 of them, and I mean, completely ripped this thing apart.
They're huge.
They're brutal too.
I remember I was back home. I was visiting. I wasn't living there. I was just visiting, and we were driving around looking at.
You were
stuff.
with who?
I was visiting back home in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just driving around looking at stuff, and I was in a place called Kensington Park. It's like a state park there. They got a lake and whatever, all the usual stuff. But I went down this dirt road, and I turned the corner, and there was 4 turkey vultures sitting in the middle of the road, just sitting there. And one of them had its wings out. And I'm like, I don't think I can drive, So I kept driving to go past it. I realized there was a deer carcass on the side of the road and they were having a feast, but I was creeping really slow. They didn't move out of the way. They just stood there. So then I laid on the horn. They walked to the side. As I drove, one of them flew on the top of my roof and just landed there. And he was pissed off. He was so mad. I took off flying. I took off.
Don't mess with me, man. I'll rip those windshield wipers off your car so fast.
I couldn't believe, but I got to get a close up of how ugly they are and how big they are and how sharp their beaks are and their talent. I mean, they're nasty creatures, man. They're nasty, and they're here all the time.
Yeah. How do you like me now?
It's like that. Yeah. What's that cartoon? Hey, wasn't that Dumbo? There was vultures in Dumbo. No, what was that?
Yeah.
I think it was Dumbo.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know.
Oh, brother. And and I remember because we spent some time in Florida, uh down in South Florida, especially in the Florida Keys. They have peacocks,
Oh, okay.
and peacocks are like gods. And if you know, and if you've ever traveled down to the Florida Keys, you know there's only one road in, and it's the same road out, Highway 1. That's it. If the peacocks decide it's time they want to go from one side of the road to the other, traffic comes to a halt. It is, you know, and they even tell you that the peacocks have the right of way. Well, peacocks have a habit. They don't necessarily like to just go from one side of the road to the other. The asphalt is warm, so they get in the middle of the road and they sit there and they talk for a while. Hey, this is kind of cool. You know, sunny. You know, and also, well, where do you want to go for lunch? I don't know. Where do you want to go? You want pizza today, or maybe we should go and try and get some chicken or something. You know, or we're tired of fish. And the peacocks are carrying on a conversation. And then they open up the plumes so that everybody can honk their horns and clap their hands. And you can sit there for 20 minutes waiting for the peacocks to cross the road.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that they were just wild walking around like that.
Yeah, because I guess decades ago, some people thought they were beautiful, and some of these estates that are along the ocean and along the bay, and all
Yeah.
these peacocks just roam free on these estates. Well,
It's cool.
yeah, every once in a while, you got to get off of the estate and go someplace. So the peacocks do, and when they do, they stop the traffic.
I've only seen peacocks, like I know Disney used to have them walking around, I guess, down there. And then the Detroit Zoo, of all the places, would have peacocks walking around in the summertime, just hanging out at the
Yeah.
Detroit Zoo. And I'm like, what the heck is going on around here?
Well, I used to tune into NBC to watch them.
You know, the only peacock I watch is the new streaming app from NBC's.
Yeah, right.
Which, by the way, if they want to sponsor this, they can go ahead and sponsor this.
Right. Yeah, haven't you had encounters with owls too?
Yeah. Oh, my owls. Yeah, I love owls. So
Yeah.
I'm a
Ooh.
big. I do believe that owls are some superstitious. I don't know what, but I
Who?
believe in it.
Who?
And I think that, yeah, right. What?
Who?
I think that owls are really cool. So I had a couple of them. I was at the patio one night, sitting outside. We were having beers, and it was a beautiful night. And all of a sudden, I heard some like ruffling, I don't know, in the corner. So there's like my grill next to me, and then around the corner of the house, you know, I heard something. But you know, there's rabbits, there's dog, you know, who knows? And then, but I heard it, and it sounded like something was in the grass, like hopping or walking, and I didn't know what it was. Then out of nowhere, this owl comes flying. Its wings were so close to me, I could feel it. And it like brushed up, and it was chasing something in the grass. And I mean, this thing, you don't realize it unless they're those little tiny owls. You don't realize how far their wings can go and how big they are until you got one touching you. It dove in the grass and then took off. It was really cool. And then it happened a couple other times. I would hear it. I would hear one at night. I'd come home from work and I would hear it. And I'm looking around, and then it sounded like it was in the house. I'd open up the blinds and look through the dark. I would just see it sitting on the fence, just hanging out. It was so cool. And then I had one more. I probably had two more, but Luke and I had an experience with an owl that was very cool. Yeah, we were sitting on the patio having our guys' night. It was in the summertime, right around when the pandemic really was, you know, like everything was shut down. And we're sitting around, and I heard it loud, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. And Luke's like, you know, asked me what it was. I told him it's an owl. And he's like, well, where is it? I'm like, I have no clue, dude. Like somewhere around here. And he's like, it's loud. And I said, dude, they get really loud. You know, you should see one. And as soon as I said that, it flew and landed on our patio and just sat there. Just looked right at us. And I was like, and Luke was like, oh my God. I go, that's an owl. And it wasn't there long, maybe a minute, maybe. and then it flew away. It was awesome. I love owls. Love them.
There's a lot of different variety of owls. I think there's only one variety of pigeons.
Yeah, they suck. And they probably give you, you know, birds get a bad rep because they pass around all these diseases. I mean, all these viruses, you know, they're nasty.
I also couldn't figure out why they decided that pigeons would be good couriers.
Well, you can train them. That's why they're dumb. I mean, so we had a pigeon.
Wait a minute. You want me to take this message and fly to where?
They'll do it though. So we had I used to work at this bar called Stan's in Frisco. It's no longer there. And one day I came out on the patio to clean it before we opened, and a pigeon, a very big, well, it was a dove. It wasn't a pigeon, but it was sitting there, and I'm looking at it, and it was beautiful. And I'm like, what is this thing just chilling here for? I'm like, great, it's probably got some weird disease. Here comes the apocalypse, you know? And I went back inside and grabbed my phone. I took a picture of it. It had a little tag on it. I got the number off the tag. Come to find out, it was one of those racing doves. Yeah, so these guys race, or they fly across the country, and I mean, through states. This one came from Arkansas, flew from Arkansas to Texas. They hang out, they sleep for a day or two, and then they fly back to their owners. Yeah, and you can trace them online. I contacted the owner, sent him a picture, let him know that he was safe. And after a day, I mean, I put up a sign on the patio, leave the bird alone, don't touch. After a day, he flew away. He went back to Arkansas. It's crazy. There's a cat in my.
Now that's a story.
Yeah, but it was really cool though, and it's a big thing apparently. So I don't know. That's my story.
So the next time you're in Arkansas, check out the pigeons to see if they have little tags, and one of them might have a little tag that said, "I ate at Stan's."
Yeah, we named him Sir Stands a lot.
Well, we should get a pigeon that flies between our dump, our trash dump here, and Patriot Sandwich Company in Denton.
Just drop off sandwiches.
Yeah, a new delivery service.
They might be missing some pieces, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes. The sandwiches are big enough, you can share. Well, we got to go feed the birds.
Yeah, great.
As if they don't have enough to eat out here in the landfill.
I'm telling you.
Anyhow, I think that's a wrap for another episode of Trash Talk, and we'll catch you right here again next week, and we'll do it again. All right, we'll be here. I hope you're here with us too. Bye.
See you guys.